What if I told you that in 1943, the United States Navy may have made an entire warship disappear? Not hidden, not camouflaged, not erased from radar, but gone. And when it came back, the men overboard were never the same. By the end of this episode, you'll know the myths, the legends, the evidence, the official explanations, and the one question that refuses to go away. Did the Philadelphia experiment really happen, or is it one of the most persistent myths of the modern age? So it's World War II. Governments are desperate. Technology is advancing faster than ethics. And secrecy isn't paranoia, it's survival. The US Navy is under relentless attack from German U-boats. Any breakthrough, any advantage could save thousands of lives. And this is where the legend begins. The place, the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. The ship, the USS Eldridge. The objective, according to the story, is invisibility. The claim is that Navy scientists were experimenting with powerful electromagnetic fields, possibly inspired by early work connected, loosely or not, to Einstein's unified field theory. The goal was to bend light, to distort space, to make a ship disappear. On the day of the experiment, witnesses describe a strange greenish fog rolling across the dock. The USS Eldridge began to shimmer, its edges blurred, its outline faded, and then it vanished, not slowly but instantly. According to the legend, the ship didn't just disappear. It allegedly reappeared in Norfolk, Virginia, hundreds of miles away, briefly before snapping back to Philadelphia. And when it returned, something was wrong. Crew members were said to be severely burned, disorientated, and mentally unstable. Some reportedly screamed in terror at things no one else could see. And the darkest claim of all was that some sailors were allegedly fused into the metal of the ship itself, half flesh, half steel. Others were said to vanish permanently, erased as if they never existed. One detail keeps resurfacing in different versions of the story. Sailors who would suddenly freeze, locked in place, unable to move or speak, as though stuck between moments, almost like time itself had glitched. Most of these men, according to the legend, were discharged quietly. No interviews, no explanations, no records. And then the story went silent, for years. In the 1950s, a man called Carlos Allende, also known as Carl Allen, began sending strange, frantic letters to UFO researcher Morris K. Jessup. Allende claimed he had witnessed the experiment from another ship. He wrote about electromagnetic invisibility, space-time distortion, men phasing in and out of reality. Most researchers dismissed him as unstable, but here's where things get genuinely strange. Jessup later published a book called The Case for the UFO. At some point, the Office of Naval Research received a copy, but this copy was different. It was heavily annotated by hand. The notes discussed advanced electromagnetic theory, multiple types of beings, physics concepts that sounded disturbingly like teleportation. The handwriting appeared to come from more than one source, though most believe it was Allende writing under different names. Now here's the key point. Instead of discarding it, the Office of Naval Research quietly reprinted the annotated version. They distributed a small number of copies internally. This version became known as the Varo Edition. To be clear, this does not prove the Philadelphia experiment happened. It does not validate the annotations. It does not confirm teleportation. But a government research office choosing to reproduce and circulate a book filled with bizarre handwritten notes rather than ignore it is highly unusual. And it poured fuel on a fire that still hasn't gone out. Now let's ground this. The US Navy officially denies the experiment ever occurred. Ship logs placed the USS Eldridge elsewhere at the time. Historians point to a real documented technology called degaussing, a process used to reduce a ship's magnetic signature, protect it from magnetic mines, involve large electrical currents. This could produce strange visual effects, electrical interference, reports of disorientation. To an untrained observer during wartime secrecy, it could look otherworldly. Add fear, imagination, and rumour, and a legend is born. And yet, despite explanations, despite denials, the story refuses to disappear. Because there are missing documents, conflicting timelines, government precedents for unethical experiments. We now know that programs like MK Ultra were real and hidden for decades. So the question isn't, is the Philadelphia experiment exactly true? It's this: if something went wrong, would we ever be told? The Philadelphia experiment lives in the space between science and sci-fi, history and rumour, truth and suppression. Maybe it was just misunderstood technology, or maybe for a brief moment in 1943, humanity touched something it didn't fully understand and buried it. Because some discoveries don't change the battlefield, they change reality itself. And those are the ones governments never admit to.